your 3 words that you can't say on podcasting. Jesus is Lord.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
Libs want to take that away.
Yeah.
They always be doing that. Yeah. Okay. I think the audio sounds about good. I think we're at the right level. We don't normally introduce this in any sort of normal way. Okay. Are we going to do ours first? We're going to do yours first. Do you want to? You
guys have beers out, so I think you should do yours first.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay. We'll pop this one off.
If that's
first.
okay with you. It's you're the host.
Yeah.
You
No,
choose.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No. Oh God, so much pressure.
And meanwhile, I'll try to order DoorDash.
What are you getting?
I don't know.
Just get pizza. There's like Domino's nearby. You don't gotta.
Okay.
You don't have to go buy stuff from a pub to make a serf come and bring it over. It's fine.
Wait, so
Use the surf.
does everyone want a cheese pizza?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would love a cheese
I'd
pizza.
like a Filipino cheese
Would
pizza.
you like a large cheese pizza?
I want a 9-year-old
Wait a
cheese
second.
pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
As long as it's not
special
too aged.
ingredients.
Yeah.
I want the Macaulay Culkin, if you know what I'm saying.
All right.
Macaulay
all right.
Culkin.
Are we recording? Is this the
Yeah,
podcast?
absolutely. This is what the podcast is now. This
All
is
right.
how we do this.
Well, then there we go. From the moment a lost-looking Leslie Nielsen stumbled onto the Universal Studios stage alongside Home Improvement's smarmy pint-sized Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Cybermania 94, the Ultimate Gamer Awards, shaped up as the most surreal bit of TV this year. The 2-hour show, which pulled in a respectable 1.1 rating, was a low-rent whack at the MTV Video Awards without the faintest whiff of Oscar legitimacy. Performers ranged from midgets juggling and spinning dishes to keyboardist Herbie Hancock performing some techno crud from with solid gold type dancers. They were complemented by a slew of B-list luminaries, sometimes actress Shelley Duvall, jive-talking comic Charles Fleischer, Marla Gibbs from the Jeffersons, and Grace Under Fire's Dave Thomas.
These are all gets.
All of whom
They also had
had
Matthew.
that. Sorry, go.
They also had Matthew Perry from Friends. And it was while Friends was on the air. So I'm just.
That's
it
a
seems
good-
a bit
That's a
pejorative
legit
to call
A-list.
him
That's a
Beast.
big deal.
Yeah.
I think that was like the first season of Friends, though. Before we knew what it would become.
Man, I'm going to have to talk about this with my agent glare in their eyes as they awkwardly announce nominees like Return to Zork. Perhaps the only folks more stymied were the nervous audience of natty game programmers applauding the winners of 12 categories, including Best Action Adventure, which was won by Doom, Best CD-ROM, which was won by The Seventh Guest,
Hell yeah.
Best Portable
Good
game,
game.
Aladdin,
Good game.
Best Art of Graphics, Myst,
Good game.
Best Musical, Explora 1, Peter Gabriel's Secret World,
Fuck yes.
Best
Gabriel fucking
Sports,
bangs.
Caesar's World of Boxing, Best Actress, Grace Zabriskie, awesome, Voyeur, the game Voyeur.
Oh, man.
I don't want to read this pop-up. What the fuck? Sorry.
Subscribe.
I can't read that article anymore. Anyway, that was a Cybergeddon 94.
I actually didn't know that existed. I thought I knew all the dumb shit from the 90s. Apparently, I don't know a damn thing.
But unlike now, all of those games are pretty much blameless. Like for what just happened there in that description.
Oh, it wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
There was some strong anti-gamer bias.
Yeah.
Like 1994 gamer bias, the apartheid gamer era.
Yeah.
I got the article back.
Things are different now.
The best overall game, as determined by call-in vote to a private 1-900 line announced throughout the whole series, was Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, all right.
And the
That'll
article just
People have
ends
spoken.
with, too bad that on this star-studded evening, star-studded is in hate quotes,
Well,
evening of winners and losers, the biggest loser of all was Cybermania 94.
wow.
Rude.
We watched some Cybermania 94 today. And there's a scene where Leslie Nielsen
Where the
picks
fuck
his
did you find
three,
this?
it's all on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Leslie Nielsen picks his 3 favorite video games to talk
man.
about, while a guy inflates himself into a giant blue balloon in the background and just like bouncing around innocuously.
Does a little dance.
Does a little dance, and then Leslie Nielsen pops him with a pin, and he walks off shamed.
There's a part where they cut from the action in the theater to where they have a reporter at a Las Vegas arcade, and he's talking about how the kids love Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam, and then he like starts to like read some cheat codes or something off of like a sheet of paper someone hands him, but like he doesn't really know what he's talking about, and he gets really flustered. And so like halfway through it, he's just like, "We'll give you the rest of this after the break," and then he like hands it to the kid playing the game, and he's like, "Can you make any sense of this?"
And the mic picks it up. The mic's
Yes.
hot. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
All the mics are hot during Cybergeddon 94.
So good.
Cybermania.
That would be some weird like media cross promotion if it was like, oh, you have to like tune into the Gamer Awards to figure out how to do like the stage fatality in Mortal Kombat. Like, wait till they announce the codes. Like,
it's this world that seems like so far off now when you think about like dialing a 1-900 number or.
It's when video games were beautiful. It's when there was still that sort of like pure sheen over the whole idea of PC games. It still seemed neat.
I mean, you remember when like you used to have like the 900 numbers on the back of the booklet of the game where you could call for tips if you were like you got stuck.
I mean, did anyone else here call like the Nintendo helpline when they were a kid? Was I the only one? I guess I was the only one.
You were the only
one. You know what? That tracks. That sounds about right.
I had to call the LucasArts number because TIE Fighter wouldn't install right.
Were they sympathetic to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did good.
Nice.
They played the Star Wars music on hold, which was a nice treat for me.
That would make most holds more bearable or less.
That sounds all right.
I don't know. That sounds maybe like hell. Like maybe it's just like you're on hold forever and it's just playing like some nostalgic music for you to remember when your life was better when you were not on hold.
You should do Halloween.
Like by the Misfits?
No, just the movie Halloween.
Oh, okay.
The theme from Halloween.
The theme from Halloween.
But like just the movie Halloween playing in the background.
Exactly.
Like the entire audio track.
Yeah,
of it.
the whole thing.
Mhm.
Jamie Lee Curtis is there. She's screaming.
I mean, like people should get podcasts to go during like long holds. I feel like that'd be far more entertaining than having to listen to the same elevator music the entire time.
I think if you were forced to listen to, say, a podcast of this caliber,
Well, let's not.
if you were forced to do that,
let's
or
not
even
be
a
mean
worse
to the
one.
people listening.
yeah, like that would be infuriating.
Isn't that the point of hold music?
I guess so.
Okay.
I like the idea of an old woman trying to interact with the podcast and getting frustrated that they're not listening to her.
If you had never listened to a podcast before, and old people are the only people who use the telephone anymore anyway,
Yeah.
it would be baffling. It would be a nightmare.
Usually it's my son who helps me with my printer, but it's not making the flashing light.
That's fucking cool. You ever tried ayahuasca?
Cool.
All right, we're 8 minutes into this, and there are a bunch of voices who are not immediately recognizable, so I should probably introduce this. This is Super Hopped Up, favorite podcast about recreationally trying ayahuasca. I'm your host, Chris Norris-Jones. Here is one Mr. David Beebe.
Hello.
And Mr. Matthew Emery.
Hey, I'm here.
The usual. And we're doing some crossover work, some back and
Some
forth
Street Fighter cross Tekken.
Mhm.
That's how I sold this to the guys.
with the dirty denizens of the Alberta Podcast, one Mr. Keifer Dallison
Dun 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 dun.
and Chris Westaway.
Dun, dun.
How y'all doing today?
Really good. Thank you for hosting us.
Howdy.
Thank you for putting the idea forth of doing this, for having far more entertaining people onto this podcast than I normally do. So this is good. This is a change of pace.
I
that was-
throw us
that
under
was
the
a-
bus.
That was a shot across the bow for all three of us here, so I'm just saying.
we're
I
gonna,
make no promises.
We're gonna make this podcast hell for you, Norris. You're gonna
Yeah.
fucking pay for that. Yeah.
It's
I'm
good.
gonna give you a wedgie. I'm gonna flush all your audio equipment down the toilet.
You can't beat me in a wrestling match. You can't do that. That's not going to work.
I'm gonna start moving the table. Hang on.
It's
I'm gonna start rearranging your audio equipment when you're not here, and you'll be like, "Am I going insane?"
ooh.
Just fuck with all the faders when he's not looking.
Yeah.
And just like
This is not Wink, the gaslighting podcast.
Yeah.
Fucking homily me, don't do that. Who brought the beer today?
I brought the beer today.
Okay, I've been kind of casually sipping this, and you made it seem a lot more nefarious than it actually is.
No, it's good. I like it.
It's Pizzagate.
What? Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Pizzagate draft. You know, you could say that the folks at the Storm Brewing Company had a lot of interesting ideas for quirky beers sort of comet ping-ponging around in their head. If you go to that place, it does look like a sex dungeon, though.
A large man asked me if I wanted to order off a secret menu and then pointed at a picture of a doll.
Yeah.
oh my good god. I'm 180. I'd walk out of there. Like,
Hell no, I ordered off that secret menu.
Yeah.
you just want to be like, yeah, animal style, please. Like,
What's in this? I don't like. Okay, you keep saying pizza and beer. Is that what this is supposed to be from? Where did you get this? What is this?
I got this from Storm Brewing, just as we said.
Okay,
You're not listening to
I'm
us.
paying attention.
Okay. The pizza beer. So it's got like basil and tomato in it.
Okay,
Just a little bit. Not enough for it to be really obnoxious.
you can kind of smell the basil.
I'm getting some tomato notes in there. I don't know about you guys.
it was right after. Like, made my mind just painting them in right now, but I feel like I've noticed it more after you said that. Yeah.
I'll agree with the basil. The tomato seems like a false front. I don't taste any tomato in
All
this.
right, drink
but
some more.
It's all right. Fine. Fuck you. I will.
Yeah.
You're like.
I'm gonna delete files off your computer, bitch.
All right. This is the way the entire podcast is gonna go. I'm very excited.
I'm gonna go on your GitHub and then I'm just gonna overwrite all your fucking repos.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
man.
gonna hack
Wow.
your mainframe.
I have so few repos as it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna hit you right in the bits.
So yeah, for you two, the way we normally do this is we usually don't have anything to talk about. We don't usually have any plans for this. We just kind of go off by ear. That being said, I have a topic of conversation that I want to bring up for you all if you're interested in this.
We're not.
Tell me more.
All right.
No, bring it. I'm very interested. Let's do this.
Keifer,
Okay.
yes, and.
Yes, and.
Yes,
and.
How many of y'all know Billy Mitchell?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
He
I know
is
where this is
the
going.
he's the bad guy from King of Kong.
Yes.
true. He's the hot sauce man, the king of hot sauce. I'm going to find my goddamn notes.
Billy Mitchell's cool. Well, he's
When-
doing
They
it.
were
Go
there.
ahead.
When my girlfriend and I do the face swap in Snapchat, she looks like Billy Mitchell. When it's like my face and my beard with like her hair,
Oh,
it looks like Billy Mitchell.
wow.
You should get into those deep fakes and just have you and your girlfriend as like the antagonist and protagonist of King of Kong.
Steve Weeb?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a winner?
I couldn't tell you.
Did anyone see the other video game documentary that he's in that isn't King of Kong?
There's like 4.
Like the
I've seen
sequel?
all of them.
You know, it's the one about the snake.
There's a guy who plays Snake for like 58 hours
Yeah.
and almost kills himself.
And Billy Mitchell talks about it like it's not a game I approached because it wasn't worth it because the game is just like too hard to pay off.
It's like it's not a fun game. It's not even very hard. You just have to sit there for 60 hours to do anything with it, and that's
Right.
not worth my time.
Yeah.
And then it shows the guy who does do that, and he looks like the guy who would do that. It's
That's
actually pretty good.
That's a great doc.
Yeah.
I almost like it more than King of Kong.
But yeah, there's a whole bunch of others. There's Chasing Ghosts, which is about like all the guys
Pac-Man
from the 80s
shit.
arcade.
Mhm.
Which remember if you've seen that, then we'll get back to that because I got some. This has been a fucking weird month for the people over at Twin Galaxies with regards to scandals and disasters.
Man. Yeah.
And so
Billy
it's-
Mitchell is just a start.
Billy Mitchell is the tip of the iceberg. There's far more to discuss, but I'm going to start with Billy Mitchell as he seems to be the person we all know and love.
You have
So-
a leather-bound notebook.
I do, yeah. I got this from a
moleskin?
conference I went to 2 weeks ago.
Is that a Moleskine?
I have no idea. I don't think it is.
Moleskine?
I can't imagine they would give away a moleskin.
Pronounced
notebook.
Malay.
So you have the compromise on Billy Mitchell.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's all in here. It's all in the books. Billy Mitchell, classic high score, arcade guy, the antagonist of King of Kong. Pretty good documentary. Also one of like the first guys to ever beat Pac-Man in like getting the highest possible score. Also kind of a douchebag. He kind of got that face with like the whole face.
And King of Kong highly implied that he was a cheater or perhaps had cheated.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
So during that film, there's a point where Steve Wiebe like gets the high score, releases it, puts it in, and since Twin Galaxies doesn't like him because he's not established, they hem and haw. But then Billy Mitchell walks in and just like hands them all a tape. And like, this is the tape I've been saving in case of emergencies, and it's the high score tape. That's the high score tape that we're going to be talking about because it has since come to contention that that entire high score tape is bullshit.
Huh.
So because the people who like record these high score things are all fucking crazy, and there's such this like community of like self-refereeing, self-judgment that if anyone is known to be like a cheater, they basically jump on them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so you're supposed to record these things either through like basically like someone filming it on the TV screen kind of thing, like a handy cam kind of thing, or like in rare instances someone gets like a direct feed to the arcade cabinet, which is borderline fucking impossible.
Okay.
When Billy Mitchell submitted those things, they said that this was going to be like through arcade cabinet. There was direct feed in. The last, I think it was about a year ago, someone started complaining that they don't think that's actually the way it was submitted based on like the scan lines from the video as of publicly available.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
We got Sherlock's on this case.
Oh yeah, there's always someone on the internet who's willing to go into the details. So they had a bunch of people basically like deconstruct the entire video, and they found out that the scan lines going through the entire Billy Mitchell video are pretty much a 1-to-1 comparison to what like a MAME output is.
No.
For those of you, MAME is sort of like arcade emulation, not like an actual arcade cabinet. It's like someone recreating in a computer.
And that's like a big
And
no-no.
that's it. That's it. That's done now.
Bastard.
But like,
He wasn't using an official board.
he was not. Like the reason why that might actually make a big deal is because like you can kind of fuck with the memory in it and get sort
Yeah.
of like a save state going where more bonus barrels will drop and shit like that, which kind of skews the entire thing.
Yeah, pin hacking is a huge no-no.
Yeah, so Billy Mitchell has now kind of gone on the defensive, and his entire high score has since I think either been removed or disputed on Twin Galaxies.
So it's like they're for posterity they're putting an asterisk next to all of the scores, kind of, or
Like
Yeah.
it was Barry Bonds or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn.
But that's not even.
All your heroes, man.
That's just the tip of the iceberg, because I want to tell you guys about an even bigger thing that's happened with Twin Galaxies in the past month or
We
so.
talking about Dragster?
We're talking about Dragster. We're talking
Fuck
about
yes.
Todd Rogers. Todd Rogers, a.k.a. Mr. Activision, aka the king of video games, aka Toddzilla.
He's got nothing on the Duke of Dreamcast.
Yeah.
True. Todd Rogers, 53, divorcee from Florida. Kind of looks like a real-life Mario. So to give a little background, at the age of 22, Todd Rogers was invited to be a member of the U.S. national video game team. He's recognized as one of the world's first professional gamers. And now called by many in the speedrunning and high-score classic community the biggest cheater in video games.
What the fuck?
How dare he?
So you watched the expose on this, right?
Yeah.
It is incredible.
So I'm gonna kind of give a little bit of a highlight from this, which a lot of this is an expose by, I think it's like
Apollo Legend.
Apollo Legend. Thank you.
Oh, right. He's a big speedrunner dude, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this all kind of came to a head because Mr. Activision, since the mid 90s, has had a high score in a game called Dragster, a game I can't actually believe anyone cares about because it's a 7-second game where you shift a dragster to go as fast as possible while just kind of looking at like a car as it sort of speeds down a single screen.
But it's like a shifting simulator?
Pretty much.
It
That
looks
sounds
like one
fucking
of those.
sweet, actually.
Yeah, it's like a Tiger Electronic kind of game.
Yeah.
You know?
It was for, I think, would you know if it was for the Atari 2600?
I think it's for the 2600. Yeah.
I'm relatively sure on that. So he's got a posted score put on Twin Galaxies, the record keeper of note of all these arcade classic scores, of 5.51, which has been held up since the mid 80s.
Hell yeah.
He stated that like he's actually proven this and shown it in real life. He was going to these like Activision conferences and stuff in the mid 80s and he was able to recreate it in real life. But in the last like 10-15 years when people have cared about this, he's not been able to break like a 5.7. The reason why people started caring about this is because there was a speed gamer by the name of Omni Gamer, who is one of his mains is Dragster, because that's a thing you can apparently say. And he was like, no one's been able to crack this 5.51. It's been borderline impossible, like ever since it's been put into the record. So what Omni Gamer did is he set up essentially like a tool assisted setup on his PC, pretty much just like 1-to-1 emulating the game itself, and pretty much tried to go through every single possible input, every single possible moment of the game, frame by frame, the entire game. And he proved pretty much mathematically that the fastest you can get in the game is a 5.57.
Oh, okay.
And so then it's also kind of been a side game since then of people going and trying to see if they can get 5.57, which like about a dozen people have done since then. So
how does Todd Rogers record a 5.51 then?
he doesn't. And that's when this whole shit blew up.
Yeah.
So after that, people have kind of suspected Mr. Activision for a little while, but people started really going through his records on Twin Galaxies with a fine-tooth comb, and they've basically come to the conclusion that pretty much all of his high scores are bullshit.
No.
Yeah, there's some stuff going through of like, he's got the high score in 2600 Centipede at 65 million, when second place is at 60,000. He's got 15 million in DK Jr. when second place was at like 400,000. Just some real crazy bullshit. And the reason why this all apparently came to be is because he was good friends with a bunch of referees at Twin Galaxies, including a man by the name of Ron Carceron, who's now currently in prison for child rape.
Okay, sorry. Was he featured in any of these documentaries we talked about?
No, I don't know. It's not the guy you think it was. It's not the crazy like
the guy who orders
it's not
custom
Steve.
anime girl prints. That's the guy.
What
Yeah.
about the guy in the referee suit who like sleeps in his car?
It's not Walter Day either. Walter
Okay.
Day is a
Thank God.
Walter Day is a beautiful like elfin character. who
I was really worried for a second there because like when you think about controversy and trouble at Twin Galaxies, I don't know what that guy's capable of. I don't know. I want to believe the best in people now, but like
I think professional
hard these days.
gamers are literally capable of anything.
No
Both
doubt.
the good and the bad
Would you
stuff.
consider these people professional gamers? Because back in the
they're
day,
the
like,
first generation.
because back in the day, like the height of being a professional gamer in the 80s was getting signed on to be one of these like carnival sideshows where people would. That's what it was. Is like a bunch of people like set together this traveling sideshow where all the best high score kids would be, and you'd go and compete against them and get your ass kicked. That's how they
See
made
the
money.
fuckable boys.
That's like the beginning of professional wrestling. It was in the carnivals, and you would have to like beat the champ.
Or snake oil, like drink my strength serum, see if you can beat this muscly dude.
So this is also carny shit. I guess.
I'm not going to tell you this doesn't have its like features in like true American businesses. I'm just saying that like it wasn't a real thing in the 80s.
Chris Westaway remind me to tell you about Peter fucking Gurr on Alberta Podcast later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My bear wrestling friend from way back. Anyway,
Stay tuned.
it's not a video game really. I had a friend who wrestled bears for a while. He was a pikey carny. That's kind of it. Anyway,
That's a dope job if you can get it.
Peter Gurr was awesome. I am having real problems digesting the idea that a grown man who's into video games would be a pedophile.
It's
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of countenance that. This is true.
So Todd Rogers fucked with the hardware. That's the theory here. He got in and
No, he just straight up lied.
He straight up lied. Like the only way he fucked by the hardware was he was so close with a couple of referees, including Mr. Ron Carceron, child diddler, that they basically just gave him access to the database for Twin Galaxies, wherein he was just putting in a lot of his own high scores.
So he wasn't even recording it.
No. Like all of this was referee verified, which means like a ref saw the score, but there's no video to
and they
dispute.
just posted.
We're just doing it on the honor system?
Yeah. That's how this shit was going for like it was fucking wild. So yeah, so since then, Mr. Todd Rogers, Mr. Activision, Toddzilla, has now been banned from the Twin Galaxies. All of his scores have been stricken from the record, not even disputed. They have been deleted. They're no longer on the website whatsoever.
Wow.
Todd Rogers is trying very hard to clear his name and to kind of come back into the good graces, but it seems difficult to do so at this point. And yeah, and justice and goodness has once again been restored to the world of classic video game high scores.
But is this the end, though? Or are there more revelations,
Is this
more
just the tip of the
bombshells?
iceberg?
that
I bet
are,
you there's so much more into this. This probably goes all the way up to the top.
Well,
Once you start pulling that thread, man, the
Yeah.
whole house of cards comes tumbling down, to mix metaphors.
yeah. So I will tell you that there has been a shakeup in the Super Meat Boy community.
Oh fuck!
Hell yeah.
No, what?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Someone has discovered a new way of checking for splices, which is when you take a whole bunch of single level runs and splice them together, saying that it was 100% run.
Yeah.
So there's a new way of checking, which is I think basically on the number of frames that the Bandage Girl loading thing goes up and down,
Okay.
and they've discovered that several classic speedruns have been spliced.
Just some anomalous bandage girl frames.
Yes.
I'm surprised it took them this long to do that. I feel like there are always crazy people who are counting every single like sprite animation to make sure that things are on the up and up. That it took them this long to do that.
I think
That's
you're
shocking though. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think you were underestimating the nefariousness of these cheaters. Fucking screen peekers everywhere.
So Matt, as the resident scientific man of the room, I'm
Yeah.
assuming I don't necessarily know what Westaway and Keifer do for their 9 to 5. It might be science. It could be scientific.
It's a kind of
Get
science.
money, baby.
Yeah, does the guy in the Shiki do science?
Yeah.
It's a certain kind of science.
I had a friend of mine say, you really could be a Florida man to me yesterday. So, no, I'm not a science boy. Anyway, ask your question of Matthew. I'm sure
All right.
he'll have insight.
Matthew, scientific man,
Yeah.
the man of letters of the room.
Okay.
How long until we have some of these deep AI neural networks busting the asses of all of the current speedrunners?
You mean like doing better than them?
Yeah.
Well, in some cases they can. I was actually watching a round of Snake that was done by an AI. In a lot of cases, though, it actually comes down to someone programming like directly the actions that should be taken instead
Okay,
of getting
like,
an AI
that's
to do
not-
it,
that's not what I
which
want,
doesn't
yeah.
count. I know,
Yeah.
it doesn't count.
I don't want to watch a tool-assisted speedrun. I want to watch like the AlphaGo of speedrunning, just like find out its own solutions.
Well,
and
it's funny
bust
you
ass
should mention
hard.
that because like the original like AlphaGo like algorithm was trained on Atari games.
Really?
Yeah, and you can watch. You've probably seen the thing of like it playing Breakout and then figuring out how to go like behind
It
the.
learned the behind the technique. Yeah. I
It
remember
also
that.
learns how to like skip screens and stuff like that, which is cool. So it finds its own hacks.
Oh, wow.
But I think when they figure like if they figure out how to do Crash Bandicoot, then we're fucked. Like it's full on Skynet.
That's the end times.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they can
Hey.
do Mario Kart real good. No chance.
I got another question. How long before there's an AI version of Crash Bandicoot that's my girlfriend?
That
Well, I
happens.
mean, like depending on like how hard you want to try, that's available now.
I want that pointy nose all up me.
There'll be like 3 months of bliss for you
Yeah.
between like you having the Crash Bandicoot girlfriend and that Bandicoot girlfriend like just destroying you.
Right.
replacing
Coco?
you.
I think it was Coco Bandicoot.
No, I don't want the girl. I want Crash Bandicoot to be my girlfriend.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Coco is Crash Bandicoot's sister. I
I know.
don't care.
She's a smart one. She wears overalls. Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot is a crazy bandicoot, and he does spins, and I want him to be my girlfriend.
Yeah.
How does he not get dizzy? It's crazy.
Crash Bandicoot is magic.
Yeah.
Actually, science made him not get dizzy.
Okay, you're right.
He's crazy, dude. He's orange. That's fucking crazy.
Is it safe to say that this is probably the biggest controversy in gaming since that guy at that speedrunning thing sniffed the chair when the girl got up?
I think about that so often.
That was pretty good. It's
That tape is not in context.
Not all
He
heroes
dropped
wear
his
capes.
pen.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Matt makes us feel
stunning
that-
defense.
Matt makes us feel bad whenever we make fun of the speedrunners because they raise millions of dollars for charity.
Yeah.
Listen,
They're cool guys who just want to go fast. Look, I'm not going to deny that a lot of them seem like they have Asperger's, but that doesn't stop them from being good people.
it just shows like it's just like the secret sauce to their dedication. I approve of it. If anything.
Yeah. Everyone has to have a thing. You remember that commercial?
Yeah. That's some prime Canadian content right there.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys can give me some context for this. I haven't watched many speedrun videos,
You're missing out.
but I did watch a speedrun video at what I can only assume is one of these charity speedrun competitions for the game Mirror's Edge,
Oh, yeah.
which was
Yeah.
the highly broken parkour mirror game. Like,
It's fun to watch speedrun shit on that game because it's straight busted.
well, that was it. It was just this guy being like, "All right, I'm going to do a speedrun without utilizing any bugs, without taking advantage of any bugs."
Oh,
There's a guy
that
next to
that is
Right.
an infamous run.
yeah, and the guy next to him just being like, "Oh, you just utilized a bug there," and he was like, "Well, I tweaked it a little bit." And these speedrunners just like in like a semantical argument, and one of them just like crushing the other one verbally, being like, "That was also a bug," and then just being like, "Well, it's just a little one,
Yeah.
so you can just utilize." Like, you just told everyone you're using a bug now. It's like
You-
you're not doing anything special.
You did this wrong.
Anyway, it was yeah.
I like that he's narking
That's a
on
classic
him, though.
run.
That's how you. Otherwise, you don't have integrity in this sport, right? So
I guess what I'm confused
Someone has
about
to be held accountable.
is why didn't a jock give them wedgies?
Yeah.
I feel like they did. I feel like jocks wedgied them so hard that this was really like the only recourse was to just kind of like sit and get better at the same video game that they had.
they couldn't leave their bedrooms after those wedges.
Yeah, it was catastrophic.
You try to create a new synthesis where you bring the jock mentality to games. And it's all about doing it harder and faster and better.
Yeah.
You're right.
This is self-wedging gamer.
I feel like that's one of like the tenets of like the Gamergate like thesis, isn't it? It's just like get jocks out of video games. Wasn't that one of the things they were arguing about like back in the day?
Are
Just-
women jocks?
Well, it's like women was number one. Women need to get out of games. That's the
Yeah.
first thing about Gamergate. But like 2 was like women need to get out of making games, and then 3 was like no more jocks.
No more chads.
No more chads.
Chads,
No
right,
chads
yeah.
in gaming.
Yeah.
No
I don't re-
chads allowed.
I don't remember the Chad element, but
It was
I believe
there.
it.
It's like you got to dig a little bit deeper into the Gamergate stuff, but it was definitely there.
I
A
remember.
gamer cannot confront a chad in direct combat. Right? They're strategic.
Suicide.
Yeah.
And they're getting too good at NFL games now. So.
Yeah.
I think them being upset at like Shooter Bros was kind of like some of the genesis of that like casual hate kind of thing, right? It's just like, oh, you guys just buy Madden and then Call of Duty every year, whereas I played the true games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they study the blade.
This anime girl is 1,000 years old, and I love her.
Keifer, even if you don't watch actual speedruns, you seem like the type that might enjoy the joke videos that come out every year, which is just like a reel of all of like the supremely fucking awkward shit that happens at all of like the speedrun conventions every year. I feel like you would probably get some traction out of that.
Yeah, like
Okay.
for example, I like the one where they're reading out the messages of donations, and the person like has a very heartfelt message about how their dad was sick or died of cancer, and then it's like, "I love you, Dad," at the end.
Yeah.
And then the speedrunner just says quietly into the mic, "I love you, son."
I like it when they are reading off
Rude.
donations, and then my grandfather died of cancer, and then everyone starts clapping because someone does like a fun trick on like Super Mario.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty convincing arguments that they might need to change some of that formating stuff. Like,
Possibly.
I don't know. It also seems like weird that they still do this in like hotel ballrooms. You think that they would maybe be putting this in a stadium or something at some point?
That'd
Like,
be fucking weird though. Could you imagine that?
I know, but they get like enough views. You think people would buy tickets and go? Probably.
Yeah, it's like invite only though.
Is that what it is?
Let's give a big Superdome welcome for Anthrax Kid 69.
Here's a Swedish kid that can't stop saying the N-word. Yeah.
Cool. Are there speedruns of JDate simulators?
There are speed dates of everything. So
Yeah.
yes. Like I can't prove it, but yes.
Can we stop
podcast?
podcasting and play a JDate simulator?
If
Hello.
you want to, yeah.
No, I don't want to.
New
Then why-
YouTube series.
Don't Kelly.
Okay,
will listen
guys,
to
here
this.
we
Don't
go.
give
I'm going
Kelly
to try and get the
ideas.
rape ending in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, you've seen the speed run that is try to get your kids taken away by Child Protective Services in The Sims, right?
Yeah, we were
Yes.
talking about that a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's the good shit.
Yeah.
I think I just heard you guys talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Oh, you listen to the podcast?
No.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
that's the right decision. Yeah, that's
I don't
okay.
listen to any podcast other than my own because I don't want to pollute my mind with,
Right.
yeah,
It's really hard. I have to use hip hop as a palate cleanser when I come over here. Yeah.
maintain a clarity of purpose. This shit ain't a game.
I just jack off on crystals.
Like, so the crystals will give you energy, or
Yeah,
like
for energy and purity.
Okay.
I just jack off on Chris's.
Yeah. Damn. Does anyone want pizza?
I mean, that's the goal, isn't it? That's what we're gonna do after this is get pizza.
Yeah. What do you guys want for pizza?
Extra large cheese pizza, just for me.
Nice.
Nice.
Are you
yeah.
ordering pizza
We're
right
ordering
now,
pizza
Matt?
on
Is
the
that what this
podcast.
is?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's why I
fine.
asked.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
If you could get the
Can I get a Mexican cheese pizza?
Oh yeah, Mexican's awesome. I'm down for whatever, guys. Guys, I'm just here to have a good time with friends.
It's really hard to figure out which one of you is doing a fucking Pizzagate joke and which one of you is being serious right now.
I'm ordering the cheese pizza online.
Okay. Make sure mine has
They'll bring-
extra white sauce.
I think
What's
I
your
know
address?
Everything you do is extra
No,
white.
fuck off. I'm not doing that. You tricked me once. I'm not gonna read my visa statement on the fucking podcast again, alright? Not since last time.
All right, what's your phone number?
Your social insurance number, like in case you need a credit check at the
Fool
pizza
me
company.
once, shame on you. Fuckers.
Do you want to run this off maybe with games that we've been playing, or how do you feel?
I suppose.
Are we at this point? We want to cut this off, or?
No, we're only like 33 minutes. We probably
Okay,
get a little
good.
bit longer.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can cut this one on a shorty because I feel like that's kind of the flow for this one. But I wanted to ask Chris Westaway a question.
Oh,
Are you excited for Dynasty Warriors 9, which has just now
Dynasty-
been released?
Dynasty Warriors 9 is a big day on my calendar. Obviously, this is the first year they're introducing the open world, which is an untested concept. I'm interested in seeing.
No one has ever done an open world before.
Well, not within the Dynasty Warriors universe. So I'm interested in seeing how it's going to play out. They've introduced a grappling hook system,
What?
which I'm not really sure about because every character has it. It seems like the kind of thing only like certain people should have, like maybe like Li Gong and them.
Yeah.
But another controversy in the Dynasty Warriors fan community is that because they're sort of starting over with like this new open world system, they've kind of dialed back on the weapons, so not as many people will have like unique things. But when you think about Dynasty Warriors 8, where people were fighting with big calligraphy pens and like a book,
paintbrushes,
like
yeah.
a scroll, you could like
So deeply historical.
And like a big mallet that you would hit, and then they would turn Lu Bu into a pancake, and it would fly. He would flutter away.
Big Mallet was cool. I like the Big Mallet.
I mean, I assume there are thousands of characters in these books that it's based on or whatever.
Yes.
So probably a lot of them are not actually warriors, but you'd want to have them in a game and give them an object that's related to what they did.
Yeah, some of the, like the guys who are like government ministers and stuff are the ones who have like the big calligraphy pen, and some of it is just like people. They've included a lot of female characters in the more recent installments, but a lot of them are like just like guys' wives who only get one sentence mention in the actual book. So they have kind of like
They're mining the back catalog.
they have a very sort of open-ended space to work in, and yet all of these characters have big titties that are constantly hanging out.
Woohoo!
I mean-
historically accurate.
Yeah.
You guys play the Gundam Dynasty Warriors? You ever play that?
Oh
one?
hell yeah!
I'm not shocked that Westaway has played that.
That one's out of control, man. That's like too many Gundams.
That's
you-
a really.
You playing all the Dynasty Warriors? Like, you playing all the Muso shit, or are you just kind of sticking to Dynasty? Like, is this like, are you into just like being a guy killing thousands of other guys, or do you really just like Chinese history?
I really like the format of just being one guy with superpowers fighting hundreds of other guys. It's really cool to me. Feels good. There's just something about like swinging a big axe into a crowd of people and having them all go flying.
Yeah.
It just nothing else feels like that. I also kind of like Dynasty. I like the Dynasty Warriors Empires. I do play that a lot because it kind of adds sort of like a sheen of strategy that isn't really strategy to it. So it feels like you're a smart guy when it's still just like the same old beat 'em up shit, and I like that.
Hell yeah.
I thought that like 8 was a little like, because 8 was when they were starting to like introduce like newly created characters, right? Like Lubu's daughter, was she made for the game pretty much?
I don't know actually.
Okay.
I didn't even know that she had a daughter, that he had a daughter, until like I saw the character art for Dynasty Warriors 9. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, okay, so she's back in it then, I guess. Yeah, I think she was a new character for 8, and I feel like they made her up from scratch. But
They should put
probably.
Spawn in the next one.
That would be cool. I'd like that.
Spawn and Dynasty
They should
Warriors?
cross universe and get like the Legend of Zelda stuff into Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those Injustice 2 videos have convinced me now that like NetherRealms could do their own Turtles fighting game, and it would probably be pretty awesome.
Have you been playing that?
It's not out yet. It's Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been watching videos.
You're excited to play as the Turtles?
Yeah. It's like kind of what they did for the cyborgs in the last Mortal Kombat game, where they just gave you one character, but you choose the variations. So you have like 4 variations of Turtle to play as, and then you have different weapons and moves and shit. So
okay, yeah. I think we're gonna fuck with that at some point in the future, and like some sort of video thing, aren't we?
Yeah. They made like a Mortal Kombat Ninja character, but it's a Ninja Turtle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keifer, do you play video games, or do you consider them haram?
Well, they are. They're bad for your brain, but no, I was sick and started unemployed recently, so it's sort of a long story. I don't really game that much, but
that's healthy. That's the right and healthy thing to do.
There's a game that's been close to my heart for my whole gaming life, and that is Oddworld: Abe's Odyssey. You guys fuck with that shit?
Oh, yeah.
That shit's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found a video of Lorn Lanning talking about his new Oddworld game that's coming out. Lorn Lanning, the founder of Oddworld Inhabitants.
He's kind of fucking crazy. I've seen a few interviews with him, and he always seems a little bit like half off kilter.
I love him to death, to pieces. But he's out of control. So like he's at this gaming conference pitch. He's like, all right, guys, got a new Oddworld coming out. It's called Oddworld Soulstorm. So I'm just gonna show you a slideshow of what we got going on here. And then it just like comes up with this like pyramid of societal power, and he's like, okay, so down here we have the slave class, and then above that is the working class, and then the police class, and he's like, but everyone on top of that's where you get into empire. And he's like, and so what we're trying to do with Oddworld is we're going to shatter that paradigm. And it's like, you haven't talked about the game at all. So in the 90s, so Lorn Lanning's background is he's a special video, like a visual effects guy for Hollywood, doing computer graphics really, really early in the early 90s, but doing some interesting and out there things. And his interest in visual storytelling took him into the interactive market, where he thought of Oddworld. So that got released in 96 on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
and his grand scheme was to do 5 games that were 2 games each, so like 5 independent stories that built this world that he'd constructed. He got one out of the gate, and it was critically accepted, and it did well, but he didn't make a lot of money because he kind of got the short end of the stick from his distributor. That was Oddworld: Abe's Odyssey, and then he made Oddworld: Abe's Exodus, which was the direct sequel to that, which is on the same engine, same platform, same basic concept.
Very much a direct sequel type thing.
And then sort of got caught up in like where consoles were evolving, and you're getting into the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox world, and the need for distributors to have a more expensive game in order to be interested in releasing it. And he kind of came from this place of doing everything himself. So he managed to release a game called Oddworld Munch's Odyssey.
That game rules. That's actually maybe one of my favorite Xbox games.
Okay, I haven't played it in a while since it came out. I didn't have an Xbox, so I rented one and tried it, and I was like, oh, this is okay. It's all right.
It's very different than any of the Abe's Odyssey stuff, so if that's what you were looking for, you were probably disappointed.
It's thematically lighter, and it's not as funny, but he also got sort of messed up. And then he made a game called Stranger's Wrath, which was closer to the themes and the tones that he was going for in the initial games, but his distributor sort of fucked him and didn't give him any kind of advertising, so that game lost money in its initial release, and he didn't get a game for a long time.
Which is a fucking shame, because Stranger's Wrath is actually like critically acclaimed. It's actually a very good game.
Yeah, people really liked it.
It was like the weirdest first-person shooter you ever played.
Yeah, use small animals and other fauna as crossbow ammunition. Interesting mechanics, lots of fun stuff, but no one played it, and it tanked. So he had to shrink his company down. He kept the rights to his first game and re-released an HD version called New and Tasty. And New and Tasty is funding the creation of his new game, which is called Soulstorm, which is a take on Abe's Exodus. So backtracking, 94 is when he started making Abe's Odyssey. 96 is when it was released. It's 2018 now. He has 5 games he's trying to do, and he's done technically 1 of the original 5. So I don't know if he's ever going to finish his legacy. But I did play New and Tasty all the way through for the first time, and it is really good.
He's on pace for how most developers actually end up putting their works out into the world. So I think like he's on pace for not doing anything like everyone else kind of does in the video game world.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a harder thing. I just think it's funny that he started out where he was like, I'm the animator and the developer and the story writer and the director, and I do all the voices, I can make my own game, and this is going to go well. And then like the industry changed around him.
But like even in the 90s, that was so fucking crazy. Like you could maybe do that. You could maybe do that in the 80s if you're like working on like a Commodore 64 game. But like even for a PlayStation game, being like the dude is fucking nuts. And like it's impossible now. But like it was fucking nuts doing that for a PlayStation game.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like anything else. The sound design is brilliant. Like everything about it is really
weird.
fascinating.
And it's weird in the way that you can only get weird games when you know that like an auteur is making it. Like you know it's not made by committee. It's made by like one crazy fucking. He's French, right?
No, he's a Californian guy, big hippie.
Yeah, he's one crazy fucking SoCal boy. Yeah. No, New and Tasty I never actually played, but I heard it was pretty honest to like the original, and the Odyssey shit's fucking rad. I'm excited if anything new comes out in that.
It's good, yeah. So I think the next game will be good. But like the conference is weird because he's got that pyramid thing going on, and he's talking about the hierarchy of needs and like overthrowing the capitalist system, and the audience is like, okay, great. And he's like, okay, so I'm in talks with the distributor, and they've asked us not to show you any of the gameplay, but what I can show you is a blacked out version of the gameplay with the HUD. So if I was showing you the gameplay, it would look like this. And he's just fucking drowning in this presentation. And
man.
Yeah, it's like, it's so good. And then it's just this blacked out screen with like, okay, so here, if you could see Abe on the screen, Abe would have a fire extinguisher at this point in time, and he will have liberated some of the brew from Soulstorm Brewery. So it looks like a menu, and then like you could hear sound effects in the background and like Abe communicating with people. Like, and if you mix them together, you can create a flamethrower.
It's like a step away from him like holding a picture he drew and just kind of moving it as he's telling people
and just like little Mudakin heads on the bottom, and he's just like, and now here's Abe using the flamethrower trying to get a bad ending, and all the Mudakin heads are turning red. He's like, so that's kind of what Soulstorm's gonna be like, and it's like just this fucking mess.
Gabbo, gabbo, gabbo.
So anyway, that's that
rules.
I'm sure it'll be great.
I'll buy that.
I'm sure it'll be great. But download New and Tasty so that Lorn Lanning can have enough money to keep failing brilliantly.
Let him fail up.
My hero Lorn Lanning can keep failing.
Matt, you playing these days?
No. I do have news though.
You want to give me some news?
Apparently I have nudes as well. Mm-hmm.
Then it's please.
Put them on the Discord.
Yeah. We have a Discord. What's the link now? It's like bit.ly/hopped up gaming. Super hopped up.
Kelly, for some reason Discord's weird with their links, or at least Kelly might be bad with the links for Discord. It's available on our Facebook page. So if you want to go to our Facebook page, that's Super Hopped Up, you can find the Discord link there.
The private one or the public one?
The public one. We're not that dumb.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
The creators of FTL have a new game that's coming out this month.
Yeah, I remember reading about that a year ago. It looks cool.
Yeah, Into the Breach, which is like apparently like XCOM meets Pacific Rim.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's kind of got the sort of like Fire Emblem or like Final Fantasy Tactics-y kind of look to it. Like it's sort of like grid strategy type stuff. Maybe not RPG-ish, but
so they made a game for me.
They did.
I'll probably have to play it.
Well, I mean, like I feel like the people who made FTL would know what you want, and so they probably made another thing that you want.
They know what we all want, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that like Japanese style fantasy tactics thing really has a hook in me these days. This game I've been like wanting to buy for like 2 years, but I just never thought it was at a good price point. Became free on PS Plus this month, so
score.
So I scored Grand Kingdom.
I have no idea. I actually don't think I know what this is.
So it's a tactics RPG, but it's like set up a bit differently. It's not a grid or like an isometric view map. Instead, it's like 3 lanes, kind of like arranged horizontally, and you pick classes similar to like Final Fantasy Tactics to fill out your team, and then like just kind of like it's kind of interesting because it has like friendly fire on every single effect, so all negative or positive effects on the battlefield affect all characters, or can affect all characters.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot about positioning and like building kind of cool teams, and it kind of has like almost like a better fleshed out version of like Dragon Ball's single player campaign, where it has like a kind of a grid like board game map that you move your like piece around between battles. So it's got some stuff to it. There's a lot there. I do have the strong feeling, however, that this game is a very grindy kind of game that
it's a tactics RPG, so it's probably like 200 hours to fucking do.
Yeah, and I kind of like feel like it has almost like a cell phone game quality to it, where it's probably funneling me towards like using currency or something to improve my team. I'm not certain whether that actually exists in the game, but it just seems like I'm advancing very slowly right now.
And what is the name of this again?
Grand Kingdom, very forgettable name.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
So I only play anime games now. Every single fucking game I play has
Yeah, it's kind of what you're
people.
doing these days,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Swag.
What was just memory hole thing here? What was the game where you're the forearm guy and you're just mad all the time? Is it
Azura's Wrath.
Azura's Wrath.
That game fucking rules.
Did
That's
it?
a good game.
Okay, I always wanted to play
If
it.
you've ever liked like the worst excesses of Dragon Ball Z, like just people screaming and fighting and like getting more powerful for no reason,
Bad
then
about that.
you should play Azura's Wrath.
Yeah,
It just takes those ideas and makes a video game out of it.
I want to do punches.
You do a lot of punches.
Yeah, doing punches.
Like explode planet. It fucking rules. Azura's Wrath is great. I don't got really much else unless you guys want to bring anything up that's video game or tangentially related. I don't know if we want to cut into your guys' content though, because we're doing a double header here. We're gonna do an Alberta podcast episode after this.
Chris and I host a podcast called Alberta Podcast. It's the only podcast in Alberta.
There's only one.
It's the hardest podcast to find on any of my pod feeds because Alberta Podcast is really difficult to find.
It shouldn't be anymore. We're actually just at albertapodcast.com.
Oh, good.
Oh, nice. There
We're
you go.
hosted on Podbean. But yeah, you just Google albertapodcast.com. We need to Google optimize our website, but we're working on it.
Yeah. They do kind of make it hard to find because there are certain other podcasts that seem to turn up higher than us in the listings, even though they're much worse than us. I don't want to name any names because there's only one podcast in Alberta.
Yeah.
But
So you need to find these imposters and just kind of get them one by one.
I was debating whether to save this for your show or our show, but just want to say I'm such a huge fucking fan of Alberta Podcast. It's like,
Thank you.
It is so much fun to listen to every week. So,
Y'all doing God's work.
yeah.
And I like your hot dog show.
and we're
That's-
just
Yep.
we're
that
just
sounds
really
about right.
we're really glad to have this platform where we can tell more people about this show by networking, leveraging our contacts in the audio content community. Let's build, fam.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us here.
That's
Well,
beautiful.
I'm here in Vancouver. That's nice.
Y'all now are part of the extended Super Hopped Up family. So welcome. Get on the big old hug.
You guys can't see this right now, but I'm masturbating on
It's deeply uncomfortable.
Take it
It's-
to the Discord.
I didn't want to say anything, but
We all just looked at him like,
so yeah, this is a bit of a shorter one, but this is a gooder. This is Super Hopped Up, your favorite podcast about networking with your friends. I'm Chris Norris-Jones. We're available on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever podcasts are held. We got a Facebook group. Come find us. We got a Twitter at Super Hopped Up. We got an email, superhoppedup@gmail.com. We got a Discord, which I don't know the link to. Find it on the Facebook page. And we got a bunch of YouTube content and stuff going out now. The podcast is up on YouTube, as well as a bunch of dumb videos that Kelly is in charge of and kind of putting forward. That shit seems never ending. There's a lot of cool stuff going up on there. More to come.
yeah, releases almost every day. The first part of the Hidden Agenda competitive stuff, I think, is going out. So,
You should explain what Hidden Agenda is.
okay, yeah, because like we haven't, I think, gotten the most views on these videos, but Hidden Agenda is a cooperative or competitive police procedural mystery game made by the same people who did Until Dawn. So it's a choose your own adventure style, but you play with 4 people on your cell phones.
And it gets instantly antagonistic. And
Yeah.
if you play the game as an honest cop, as like how a cop really would play it, they punish you for it, which I find kind of awful. But-
The people who made this game have never met cops or really interacted with cops whatsoever, but it's
or
pretty
like
fun.
district
Probably for the
attorneys
best,
or
though.
anything. But it's fun. It's a really dope game. If you got one of them consoles, check out Hidden Agenda. And yeah, and most importantly, go ahead and tell your friends about us, our podcast, and also go look up Alberta Podcast, the only podcast in Alberta.
I brought gifts.
Oh
There's-
hell yeah! I wanted one of these stickers. I was gonna ask.
There's just one more thing I want to talk about before we go.
Oh, yeah,
oh
nice.
fuck! This is the one more
You
thing.
do this
Yeah.
every day.
This episode of Super Hopped Up is brought to you by Gamer Goo. Hey, listen! Gaming is hard. Raiding tombs, slaying dragons, sniping Nazis. It's not an easy job, but someone's got to do it. And you happen to be great at it. The problem is, even though you plan to play for the next 12 hours, your body starts to lag. Rude.
I'm
Fuck
hungry.
off. Oh my god.
But don't fret, dear seasoned player. Gamer Goo is your solution. Coat your hands in our non-slip lotion that smells of peppermint, cinnamon, or orange peel, and the invigorating fragrance will enliven your senses and inject your fatigued limbs with stamina. Live to complete that main quest you've been putting off. Gamer Goo gives you the punch you need to keep on winning.
Goomy.
Grip.
Where do I go?
You've settled in for a long night of gaming. When you're that dedicated, sweat happens. Your fingers slip and you shoot too soon. The enemy NPCs attack and kill you. A rage quit is on the horizon. But not all hope is lost. Slather on gamer goo. Problem solved. Dry hands, FTW. Energy. Your eyes are drooping. At this point, your energy drink is worn off, and the only thing keeping you awake is your teammate yelling in your headset. But not only will gamer goo keep your hands dry, it'll keep you awake with our selection of energizing scents. So go till dawn already. We won't tell your coworkers.
I don't know if this is real or not.
Focus. Staying focused during an epic gaming session can be a challenge. Stealth can get tedious at 3 a.m., and that FPS is nerve-wracking if your mind wanders. Luckily, Gamer Goo's scents have two important elements, keeping you awake and keeping you entirely focused on the quest at hand so you can nail those headshots with ease.
I'm not fucking sure if you guys did this or if this is real.
Here's how it works.
Jack.
Choose your goo. Gamer Goo is a hand cream designed to help your gaming and is available in 3 glorious scents. Fast delivery. All orders in the continental USA arrive quickly, and thanks to our cheat code, we also ship to Alaska, Hawaii, Canada, and Western Europe. Apply to your hands. Shake well, apply to your palms, and you're ready to dominate the competition. Level up your game. Now that you have the optimal loadout,
level up.
you're ready for hours of gaming with a substance so powerful it's banned in 39 countries. Now, I know this is just like their cheeky marketing thing, but I have no doubt that this is definitely banned in 39 countries.
So this is a real thing.
This is Gamer Goo.
Absolutely.
Gamer goo.
Doesn't get any more real than this.
I hate when my hands get too wet and I e-jack.
Yeah.
I just can't wait for like the guy with his like fancy esports like jacket just has gamer goo like on the back across the shoulders, and then like having to like have video footage of him applying the gamer goo as he before he plays as product placement.
I would have sweatpants that just say Gamer Goo on the ass. Like white sweatpants with Gamer
Like
Goo.
juicy.
Gamer Goo in pink with like the dripping letters, you know, like the
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking
Just-
about.
Absolutely.
Just goomy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like that we can actually sign up as an affiliate of GamerGoo.
Fuck off, really?
Should we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is all changed now. Now I love Gamer Goo.
Yeah, everything we said about Gamer Goo is a lie. We actually love Gamer. This episode is
Tell
sponsored
us
by
what you will
Gamer
bring
Goo.
to the GamerGoo family.
It's non-toxic. It's safe
bring
to
a lot.
eat.
This is awesome. Guys, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Yeah.
Don't make up anything bad about Gamer Goo because there's nothing bad about Gamer Goo.
We will bring our audience of dozens of listeners into the Gamer Goo family.
This is sponsored by Gamer Goo. Hot Dog Gaming is an official. Never mind.
We're Goo Boys now.
Yeah.
I love to goo my dog.
All good Goo boys. All right, that'll serve as a pretty good final thought. Let's kill this off from here. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for hosting. This is lovely.
Thank you all for listening. See you all again next week. Thank you, Matt, for coughing the entire time. That was wonderful. Peace out. Love your mother.
Suck my dick and lick my ass.